All right, boys. I think we're live. I'm gonna give us a little yell. Hold on.
Okay.
Good evening and welcome to another presidential debate pre-show brought to you by Hard Factor News and the Barstool News Network. We have Will, Mark, and Wes tonight. Boys, how we doing? Ready for a debate?
Good. Pat in the
Fuck
Beaver
yeah.
Dam. Spectrum is fucking him again. Spectrum is rim rocking him on presidential debate night. He might join later.
Yeah.
Try and
If
get
you
his internet
listen,
reset.
if you listen
Yeah.
to the pod, Pat Cassidy, the Beeve, he has some internet issues at his house, and they're flaring up. But Wes, you also had some issues with the old new
Twitter.
retweet function, huh? Do you?
Yeah,
figure
no,
it
I just figured it out.
Yeah.
It doesn't
You
say
did?
quote tweet anymore. Just
No. Yeah.
looks like
Twitter.
yeah.
Twitter got all three of us at different stages.
Yeah, it got
of
me
the-
this morning
week.
too. I didn't realize that you had to just leave it blank to get the quote tweet to go through.
But Will decided to say on Twitter that he couldn't retweet, and then the rest of Twitter called him an idiot because you can.
Well,
yeah.
I preemptively
good. I'm glad I
admitted
didn't
that
do
I'm a
that.
moron. No. I then replied to my own tweet saying, "Hey, hand up, I'm a fucking idiot."
Uh-huh.
And so I feel like I am.
You just
stupid.
quote tweet nothing. You just hit
Okay,
retweet,
well,
retweet. Yeah.
We're all three a little bit challenged.
We figured it out.
So the debate tonight, President Trump versus the challenger Joe Biden, one last time. They didn't have the second one because Trump had COVID. It's at Nashville, in Nashville at Belmont College. The plexiglass has been removed. Both
wow.
Trump and Biden have tested negative for COVID today, so they're totally clear to go.
You would think both those guys can spit further than 6 feet, though. You know, with the way they talk. I don't know if they should remove the plexiglass.
Yeah, I don't know, but I mean, they both tested negative. You think they're still like? Is that what? How does that work? If you
Well, I
if
mean,
you test
there
negative,
are other humans that are there too, besides just the two of them. I mean, they could get the moderator sick. They could get anyone sick. Those old guys with their mouths, they tend to spit a lot when they talk.
yeah. Well, those dentures
water
too.
mouth.
They probably
Yeah.
create a little bit of water. Kristen Welker is the moderator from NBC, and shout out Freedom Funnels. They gave us these beer bongs shaped like eagles. So
Yeah.
Are you gonna do one?
yeah, you want me to?
Yeah, do one.
All right, you guys
Talk
talk
you through
while I
it.
do one. Yeah.
Yeah, so it goes.
You
all
can
right,
put like 4
so-
beers in those things.
Yeah, so it
Where's
goes.
the funnel?
So this is Freedom Funnels. Shout out Freedom Funnel. So the eagle is the funnel. You got to start it with the beak down like so. I'm gonna make sure I don't spill beer all over my laptop, and then right in there,
Yeah.
a nice cold one.
You got the Biden one there, or the Trump funnel, or is it both? Does it
This
have
is
one
the
on each
Biden
side?
funnel. The Biden.
Okay.
I was doing a little marketing earlier, a little clip, and then the Biden one popped out of its package. So I'm drinking out of Joey Biden tonight.
All right, let's see this in action.
So you pour it in the eagle's back, and then you just flip it up like this.
Okay. Like a kazoo. Like a drunk kazoo. Look at that. Okay. That's
pretty good.
5 seconds.
Very efficient. Very efficient.
You could
Incredibly
probably-
efficient.
You could probably bring that on the road. It doesn't look like a beer bong.
It's pretty good. Like
Yeah.
it's a portable beer bong. It kind of reminds me like of a in between. You guys know those things you put in a beer bottle that like makes the bottle go super fast.
Oh, yeah.
It's like in between that and a full beer bong.
That's like
So.
the straw technique. All right, let's talk about what's going to happen tonight, right?
Yeah.
What are we going to see tonight?
The format tonight for the first time ever. They have mute buttons. So the format is 6-minute segments. So there's gonna be 6 different topics they talk about. Each one is allotted 6 minutes. The first 2 minutes, one of the candidates talks solo. The second 2 minutes, the other one talks solo. So the opposite one is muted during those times. And then the last 2 minutes of the 6, they have open discussion.
Hopefully not when you say muted. Hopefully the mute button has all sorts of issues for our sakes. That would be
Well, this is one thing
fantastic.
that a lot of people on the right said could hurt Biden, or that they wanted Trump to do less of was interrupt him anyway, to let him bury himself with stumbles. So this might happen if he's forced to talk the whole time, and maybe he can't be bailed out by Trump, interrupting him. Who knows?
Well, I think he can relinquish his time. So it'll be interesting.
He's
to
going to
see.
do a lot of that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if people are relinquishing their time out of that first 2 minutes where the other one is muted. A lot of West conservatives I have seen today saying that they anticipate Biden struggling with that full 2 minutes. I don't know. I didn't see him struggle so much in the first debate, like with
No.
long periods of time. So
No,
he
this is
did
the
do
last
first
one.
debate.
He's not going to struggle, but I do agree with you. I think that Trump was strong in the first debate, and then he overdid it and looked like a real like dick
Right.
at the end.
So
So
this is-
now they're
yeah.
like de-dickifying him. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my question is less with how's Biden going to deal with the full 2 minutes, but more can the mute button. Do you guys think that the mute button could help Trump come off as less obnoxious because
Well, it depends.
it's forcing him to not talk?
He needs to not be moving
sure.
his mouth because then there'll be some funny memeable moments if he's like like
Trying to talk over the
trying
mute?
to talk
Yeah.
through a mute button. That could be like a funny meme. Like, look, this guy is trying to talk over a mute button. So if he just keeps his lips quiet during the mute, yeah, I think it'll help him a little bit.
Yeah. So the 6 subjects are fighting COVID-19, American families, race in America, climate change, national security, and then leadership. I don't know. I mean, the topics seem to be
Leadership.
like very hum.
What are some of these topics? What
I don't think it really matters. Like we were talking before, Trump is just going to talk only about Bobulinski. Bobulinski. You guys know how to say his name?
Yeah, Tony Bobulinski or whatever his name is. Yeah. You
Yeah.
got a picture of this guy?
Yeah,
Let me show-
I think we do. Yeah, so this Tony Bobulinski.
This is an old picture. This is when he was in shape.
He's
in the
heftier
military.
now.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
heftier now.
Ex-Navy.
Yeah, so you guys explain. What do you guys who knows more about it? It was read up. Tell me what's going on.
I
with
read the New York
Bobulinski.
Post article today.
Yeah, me
so,
too,
yeah, I think we all did. Basically, Tony Bobulinski's saying that he was a business partner. There he is.
Yeah, there he goes.
is.
He looks
He's
a
like-
little bit heavier now.
It's looking like life hit him a little bit.
Yeah.
He's saying he was like Hunter Biden's like main business partner, right? And like that he went with him on the Ukraine deal and the China deal and a bunch of other deals, and that basically Joe Biden was a silent partner in that. They called him the big guy, and that he took like a 10% cut in a lot of those deals, and that he has evidence of all this basically, and he's going to be there tonight.
Right, he's going to be
yeah.
sitting in the stands, so
Yeah.
it's going to be hard for Joe Biden to sit there and like look at this dude. He's probably met him. He's at least like talked
if
to him.
what
probably.
Bobulinski says is true, if you trust what he says, then yes, of course he knows who he is. Joe
He
Biden
absolutely
knows him very
knows-
well.
yeah.
If what this guy says is true, Joe Biden knows him very well.
Right, and so he's being questioned by the Senate this week as well. I think, or like everybody's calling him in. Basically,
I believe he claims, again, this is all his claim. He claims he gave a Senate committee all of his information, his documents on,
Cell
on
phones.
this Wednesday, so yesterday, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's turned over everything.
That's what he says.
Yeah, yeah. And
Well, he's going to be in the crowd, so that's going to be interesting to see how Biden deals with it. I mean, what do you guys think? It reminds me of like a jilted guy, because like the way that Bobulinski used to be partners with Hunter Biden reminds me of Jill Biden's first husband. And like maybe,
yeah.
like, because he came out earlier in the campaign and he was like, I don't have an axe to grind, but
Yeah, but I wrote a
here's
book,
why I think they
but-
suck.
Yeah.
And like, so like
I'm
now.
not mad that he stole Jill.
Right.
Biden's
So
gonna be like-
Bobulinski seems like a business version of that.
yeah. Biden's be like, hey, that guy owes me money.
Well, look, I mean, both Joe Biden and Donald Trump have made some enemies in life. They're flawed human beings, both of them. And they're powerful men, and they've made some enemies.
I mean, we've joked about it a lot, but like, isn't it it's kind of amazing, how old and flawed they are each.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, it's pretty incredible. It's
almost comically so. Yeah.
right.
I'm
So I
sure
mean,
they're-
yeah. Did the moderator say anything about that? I don't know.
What you think? Like the seventh topic is how flawed are you? Instead
Well,
of
because
leadership?
in the VP debate, the moderator goes, "Tell me how you're going to deal with the fact that both of your candidates are historically old."
Right.
And then both VPs dodged it. Well, do you think that like the moderators could be like ballsy enough to say like which one of you is more alive than the other? Like why are you not an old decrepit man?
The moderator, Kristen Welker, is pretty young. So she's a Harvard grad. I heard she's super well respected. So I mean, she's young enough to have a leg to stand on by bringing that up, but I don't think she will. No.
Okay. Hey, Bubba, can you pop up the drinking game rules, please?
Oh yeah, here we go.
All right, so let's talk about these. This is what you need to play along with if you're going to be drinking with us tonight. What do you guys think is going to hit the most out of that whole list? I feel like
Hunter is going to hit pretty frequently.
China
Vaccine
is
going to
getting
hit.
people hammered.
One of the topics is coronavirus. Vaccine is going to be said a lot. Mute him if you guys are crazy. I would
Hmm.
say just the word mute would get you drunk. Court packing will be brought up a lot. COVID will be brought up a lot. The Senate will be the
Stimulus.
word Senate because it could be not just.
I
when
mean,
was in Senate.
you're gonna like. I feel like we blacked most people out the first time who played this game, so I feel like it's gonna be a repeat of that. You're gonna probably
Yes.
black out again.
Come
if you
on,
play this
man.
game.
Come on, man.
I'm looking
Come
at
on, man.
the finish your drink ones. Hunter Biden's laptop. That's we're gonna finish a few drinks. I'm gonna be putting the Freedom Funnel to work. I think.
So what does that mean? Do they have to say Hunter Biden's laptop in general, or your son's laptop? Like
I think if anybody says, well, obviously it would be Trump. If anybody says Hunter Biden's laptop, you have
Okay,
to
so it
finish
has
your
to be all
drink.
three. That's gonna be tough to get those three in a row. I think.
Well, does Hunter's
That's not
laptop? Does
happening.
Hunter's
Yes.
laptop count?
I would
Hunter's
say,
laptop
I would say
counts,
yes.
I
would
think
say
Hunter's laptop counts too.
or your son's laptop. I'd say those count. Giuliani on Zips. I think that's just a joke.
Yeah,
Watch
that's not
Borat
happening.
tomorrow. Borat 2. Will, how do you say Borat? What were you saying earlier?
Borat?
Yeah, Borat. No, it's not.
I
Borat.
call him Borat.
Yeah, it's Borat.
Wait, so okay, all right.
And then talks over the mute, I would say, is up to interpretation. But if you really want to get drunk, I'm sure there will be opportunities to see people's gums moving when the mute's on. So, yeah.
Interesting. Well, plenty of opportunities to drink. Yeah, I don't know. What else we got for the pre-show?
Trump, right?
Who do you think's going to win? Like, what do you think's going to be the result of this? Do you think the needle's going to move? You think everyone's already voted? The predicted odds? What do you think? Right
I
now
think
it's,
there's been 40 million votes cast. Is that the count so far? Total?
at least, right?
Yeah, at least most. I saw a map the other day that most of the votes had been counted already in Texas and California.
They said
So
6 million people voted already in Texas, which is crazy because
Yeah, so
we
Texas
couldn't vote in
was one of
Texas
the-
until October 13th was the first day you could vote, and it's all in person. Those are, there's absentee ballots if you're out of the country, but that's like 6 million in-person votes in like a little over a week, which is impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is good. I mean, Texas always votes early because it's the easiest way to vote in Texas. So I'm not sure if that's a huge indicator of necessarily which party is voting in Texas because that's just the way you vote
No,
in
yeah,
Texas.
there's just a lot of votes. It's an indicator that people are interested in voting this election.
Right. And then California was the other state that has all the like a ton of early votes as well. But yeah, 40 million total already like received is pretty big nationwide. I think they're shooting for like what 150 million total votes.
Nate Silver came out today. I think he's the 538 guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's pretty good with polls. They're pretty accurate. And he said that they estimate 155 million votes. Last election there was 137, so that's 18 million more. And they said that within an 80% certainty, it's going to be between 144 and 165 million. So at least 10 million more than voted last election. Probably closer to 20 million more. So a lot of people are interested in voting this election, it seems.
Yeah, a lot of voters. Do you think that the Bobolinsky stuff, because I think that like we've kind of established there is the 6 topics, but there's probably going to be a lot of Trump just jumping straight for the Bobolinsky, straight for the court packing. Do you think that it is going to do anything to impact the giant polling lead that Biden has right now? I mean, because in the polls he should cruise in the general.
What do you think, Wes?
Yeah, I absolutely think. I think that he's. I mean, obviously, what happens tonight might show a little bump, but yeah, I mean, I think if this stuff is true, if the FBI, I mean, the FBI is heavily involved already. If it comes out that that's legit, that he was taking money using his Trump does shady shit probably, right? He's done shady shit, whatever, but nothing is proven that he did it in office yet, right? Like with the making money, and that this is something that Biden was doing while he was in office as vice president. He was using his office to make money. It's a big deal. And if it comes out that it was true, I think it's gonna hurt him in the polls for sure.
Yeah, I think it's how big of a deal is it? First of all, is it true? And then
Yeah.
see his reaction to it. Let's see his denial and stuff tonight. If it's true, how big of a reaction will it have? I do think that the Hillary emails last election had an impact. Is this that type of thing? Do people care
Right.
after 4 years of Trump? Are they already like, I don't care, I want Trump out?
Right.
I don't. It doesn't, like, if the emails felt huge last go around. This right now to me, it doesn't feel as big right now, but it has potential, I would say.
It's got potential. I mean, we got to see where the investigation goes. I think with him, he is trying to get out there as much as possible. So he's trying to make it as big as the emails. Will it get
Right.
that big? I'm not sure.
Well, they were sitting on it for like a year too, right? Like, I mean, like this is the same playbook. Like we said, what they brought out Paula Jones and the women that accused Bill Clinton of sexual assault last debate in 2016. They're doing it again with like they're going back to the same playbook. The Steve Bannon is not really that big a part, but he's rooting. They're doing the Steve Bannon playbook. They're playing the hits.
I think they waited too long. I think there's an interview out there that Steve Bannon had this information for like 3 weeks. I think they waited too long. For people with the mail-ins and stuff. I think it's not going to be as big of an impact. I think they missed the boat a little bit. It's going to matter, to some people, but I think if they did it 3 weeks ago, it would have changed the numbers.
I still have Biden as the favorite in my mind, as does predicted. But we'll see what happens in the next couple days. Yeah, and tonight we'll see what happens tonight with how things are
I mean,
answered.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Bubba, can you pop up the map of the prices right now at Predict It? So Biden's been holding strong at like 65 cents overall, and Trump at 40 cents. So that's like,
Thanks, Alex.
it's been like a plus. So Biden's been negative 175 this whole time. Trump's at like plus, what is that? I don't know. Biden's like
Plus
negative
120.
180. Trump's like plus
125.
But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Do you think that's going to tighten it all? I guess is for people betting.
It already
like,
is.
People.
Well, it has to because the polls are already tightening. Like, I mean,
So-
it's getting closer in the polls for sure. The national polls, depending on what you look at. But
Right,
it's
but
definitely
what do you
getting
mean by
closer.
that question? I don't think that this 65 versus 40 means he has a 15-point lead. They just think he's going to win. 65%
Right, that's just
of
the
money-
betting odds. Right.
65% of the money thinks he's going to win. It could be by
right.
4 points, right? That he could win by 1, 2, 3 percentage points. They're not saying he's going to win by 15 percentage points. They're just saying he's going to win, which I do
Right.
think is true at this point. If the election were to be today, I think Biden would win.
Yeah, for sure. And I think what Ryan 363 just said there, Twitter locked us out. Yeah, so Barstool News Network got locked out of Twitter for a couple days this week because we joked about.
Because we joked, you could leave it at
we
that.
joked hypothetically. We joked that like both sides would get upset about the election results, and then. Yeah, like they did this, but they didn't lock us down as bad as the New York Post. Obviously, the New York Post, I think, still locked out of Twitter after.
Well,
Yep.
I imagine
are.
they don't want anything to do with the new article from the New York Post.
Right. So how are they going to? But
Bobulinski.
what's Twitter going to do now? Bobulinski's going to the Senate. Twitter's got to deal with Fox News running it 24/7. I mean, it's probably going to get picked up. It's too big of a story not to get picked up after the debate by all the other networks as well.
They're not going to. They haven't picked it up now. They're not going to pick it up.
Twitter's going to
the only-
ride this wave out. Well, it's only a week left, right? Like,
Yeah, but he's
they'll-
going to be he's going to be like on C-SPAN and shit, like doing like, whatever.
Twitter's
hearings.
gonna ride the wave out, and then after the election, they're gonna hope Biden wins, and if Biden wins, they're gonna like have someone fall on the sword and be like, oh, it was this executive that has a golden parachute, and he was the one censoring, and they'll just throw some one guy, poor bastard, to the wolves, and then it'll be uncensored again after November 3rd.
That's what mainstream media will do is after the election is over, they will jump on this story. They don't want to do it now because they're favoring, like the left is favoring Biden. But Mark's right. After the election's over, they're just going to, knives out.
So you guys subscribe to the November 4th everything changes theory.
New York Post
Regardless of what
back on
happens.
Twitter November 4th. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
And the left will start covering some of the shit that might be damning to Biden.
Well,
like
yeah,
the
because it's
CNN
gonna be
and-
because it's going to be the only thing to cover.
Exactly.
Well,
That's how
and
quickly
so,
they're
like,
going to turn.
Right. Yeah. How quickly the media turns on you when they need something to talk about. Right.
That's
Yeah,
right.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. It also sets up a situation where if he
Cat fight. I don't know if you guys heard that, but 3 cats just fought in my room.
Oh wow.
Triple cat fight. It was like a
How many
menage a
cats
trois.
are in your room currently right now? How many
0.
cats?
They all just
They
hit the
all
fucking
let the
hills. They all
fight
ran for the
fucking-
hills. Yeah,
Wow.
3 of them. It was like a tumbleweed after like a double tumbleweed.
Well, that's a lot of cats.
12 paws rolling around.
I forget what I was saying, but like Biden, I mean, like
Well,
they're
look,
gonna, it's gonna be boring, and so people are like, if he loses the midterm, right?
Mm-hmm.
If say there is a blue wave, after this thing, and then he loses a midterm because he's got all kinds of scandals going on. It's like an auto impeachment again if everybody's mad about this Bubalinski stuff,
Right.
Like right beforehand of him getting elected. So it's just
Right.
we're on the fucking
But
carousel with this shit.
What do you
It's
think will
ridiculous.
happen with that? Let's do a couple hypotheticals. Again, we have to get through the election, right?
Yeah.
Trump could win. Right now, it's looking like Biden has a lead, right? Let's just hypothetically say Biden wins. Will they impeach him if the Senate is also Democrat and the House is Democrat? Or are they going to?
Well, no, they won't. That's what I'm saying.
Right?
But if they lose the midterm, right?
The
If
midterm, yes,
So
yes.
if there's enough frustration with like a bad first 100 days, whatever, and then you have a bad midterm,
Right.
And then it's say there's another red wave because it goes in pendulum swings. Shoo,
That'll
shoo, shoo,
always be there,
back
right?
and forth.
The Bubalinski stuff will always be there. right?
Exactly.
If
So they could
true,
just go
if
back
true,
and they
yeah.
could be like, "This motherfucker, he's profiting off of his office and blah blah blah." And then it's like so I feel like we could be in a history repeating itself, sort of like these counter investigations, Mueller and then Durham and all this stuff. And like
Yeah.
hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully the election doesn't create another cycle of all that bullshit.
Well,
But
Biden's also going to be inheriting a lockdown, and he's going to continue a lockdown. And people are, it's a long fucking time.
now that's something I haven't heard people talk enough about. How many people are voting based on a lockdown?
Probably quite a few. The small business owners for sure.
To me, it
Yeah.
seems like a lot would be, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that you never hear
It's-
talked about at all.
I think
Small
people
business
vote-
owners,
I think
big time.
definitely. I think definitely your current situation is a large role in people voting, and
Yeah.
everyone's current situation is a lockdown. So
Yeah.
but that's a double-edged sword. Like if you're hinting at that might hurt Biden because you're saying he's going to
Right, no, but it could help him with others, right?
It could help him because we're having such a shitty time that people want anything else. Whether it's like fair to blame Trump for a lot of this stuff, it's 2020 sucked cock, right? It was a big,
Yeah.
stinky cock sucking year. So like, a lot of people might vote Biden because they fucking hate 2020. So like, what your point is valid, but I also
Well, I
think
just wonder. I just think you don't hear people talking about it. I just think that like you hear everybody talking about how bad 2020's been. That is definitely the primary narrative. 2020's been a slog. 2020's been the shittiest year of all time. But on the flip side of that, how many people are like, it wouldn't have been that shitty if I didn't get locked down? So,
Right.
like I don't know. I mean, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. But it's gonna be interesting to see how that plays in tonight too, because with the drinking game and everything, I wonder if Trump's gonna be going back even after having COVID. Because like between the first debate and then this debate, he's had COVID, he's got over it. Is he going to be talking shit still about masks and everything?
Didn't he talk shit the first debate about?
Yeah, he was like, "You wear the biggest mask of all time."
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Joe
Yeah.
will keep you locked down. So of course he'll go back to that, and then I'll be like, well, what will Joe say in response? See, I don't think he fell into that trap too much the first time. I think he was like, no, I'm not going to like keep you locked down forever. That's not true. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes out. But yeah.
If I'm a small business owner, I'm voting for the guy that's going to get me unlocked the quickest, whoever I think that is.
Right. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people. But then also, if say you're an elderly person who's scared of catching COVID, you might
Yeah.
be saying like, "Hey, I'm going to vote for somebody that's going to get me the best fucking vaccine, and we'll never end a lockdown until it's ready to go." So
Who's going to send my son back to school, for fuck's sake? That's what I want.
Yeah, you want him out of the house.
Damn it.
Nushkolo wants to know. Solo wants to know what we should smoke. And
Oh,
on
Nux
that question-
Solo.
On that question, do you think weed will get legalized with either of these guys in the next 4 years?
Weed will get legalized in New Jersey. Look, states need to put it on the ballot. All right, your states. If you put weed on the ballot, people vote it in. That's what happens. That's so. If you can vote locally to get people in office who want to put it on the ballot. But what strain are we smoking? I've got some I've got some skunk and some kind of orange stuff. That I
Didn't you
just
say
picked up
a
today.
store moved in next door to you this weekend or in the past week? You got a new weed store?
Yeah, I got a new weed store, like literally walking distance to me. So like,
That's nice.
yeah, that's probably bad for the show. That's probably bad for my concentration.
Yeah, it's
You know
not
what I
good
mean?
for us, but it's good for you.
Yeah, it's great for me. Yeah, but I mean,
like a calm.
legal.
I mean,
Go for it.
It's good for your heart.
a riled up will is nice, but overall, I like a high will.
It's good for Will's health to not be riled up all the time. Yeah.
No, I feel like I'm so
You got a
naturally.
kid on the way.
I'm so naturally like a tightly wound wire. I need marijuana.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, like I think that like for for like it is recreational in Nevada. It's amazing. The United States probably has the coolest like recreational weed stuff where it's legal. Definitely, that's all local though. That's all local. Push for that locally because like federally, it's not. Doesn't seem like it's going to happen because neither party has adopted it. So.
Yeah, that's a damn shame. Are you gonna smoke in the house when the baby's there? When are you gonna quit smoking?
Man.
in the
Well,
house?
I mean, like,
Yeah.
well, depending on how old, like, I feel like there's a
You're gonna go out
threshold, right?
back.
There's like 3 years old, and then I can like, then I'll have to hide. But
yeah.
You can always just pop edibles. It'd be fun.
so,
Dude.
Dylan says that Maine has recreational. Nice.
But they
Good.
said that it took 4 years just to open recreational marijuana sales 4 years after it was voted on. So that's a long period of time. That means
Well,
Texas
okay,
is
so-
Texas
business
is
people.
never going to get it.
That's
Yeah.
your state. That's your state not being able to probably
Yeah.
do the regulations after it gets. But like in Nevada, they legalized in July 2017, and it was up like by December. How is Biden and Trump our best options? So weak. Love you guys. Thank you. Love you too. Yeah, it is weak, man. Like I think that like if 2020 has taught me something, it's that like it sucks. Like these are the candidates that our system has like basically generated. We're so like both parties are such slaves to like corporations and donors and shit and
But
keeping power.
What
that,
is
like
the difference? But what is the difference between this and 4 years ago when we said the exact same thing? I can't believe these
Nothing.
are our two options.
well, you're right. This is a
This is
repeat,
the
but it's
like
and it's even a repeat with how they silenced Bernie in the whole process. The whole thing is
It's
just
very
so
similar.
It's so disappointing, and I think that everybody is probably going to be a little upset on how everything has gone. This go around. So yeah, that's a good point. I do look like Farver from Super Troopers.
we can all agree on that.
But
what he's going
like
for.
maybe it'll cause people to look in the mirror. Maybe it'll cause people to say, "Hey, can we run these parties where it's a little bit better? Can things be? I don't know. That's wishful thinking. Probably not. Probably people will still hate each other.
I
The two
think it's
parties
if you
vie for control.
if you set up like the worst humans to be your president, then you keep doing things can only get better next time, right? It's like the opposite of the grass is always greener on the other side. Like you just put like I guess it is the grass is always greener if you put these two people up. It's like anyone. Maybe next time we'll have a better two candidates in 4 years, but we probably won't.
Well, no.
If
I
rich
mean,
business people
depends.
keep running, then they're just gonna have to compete with the one guy because they're not gonna have enough money to compete with like a Trump or someone like that. It's fucking money. You got money, you can win these things.
You can.
I don't know. I think someone that's against big pharma and against big companies is totally going to get in next time.
Right, just like Bernie, just like how he had
Yeah.
exactly.
I think someone that's a renegade that's against
Yeah.
all these big businesses is going to
Some
get in.
poor
next
guy,
time.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna win.
We got a lot of people talking Joe in the chat. Shout out Joe Jorgensen. We did interview Joe Jorgensen on the podcast. She is the libertarian candidate. She is not invited to the debate tonight. Dan
Yeah.
Spectrum, you're
Pat
right,
got-
Trev.
Pat got
Beeve got
Spectrumed again.
Spectrum. But yeah, Joe Jorgensen, we interviewed her on the podcast. She's not in the debate tonight. Go listen to our podcast with her if you want to hear about what the libertarian candidate is offering.
Weed for one.
Wishful thinking is me not drinking too much to skip work tomorrow
Oh,
after this.
skip
Oh
it,
no,
gingerbread
gingerbread
man.
man, you're done.
Yeah,
gingerbread man. You saw the rules on that sheet.
Yeah, pop that rules one more
Yeah.
time. Now this
Oh.
is something that is legal for everyone to do. Drinking.
So, China, Hunter, great. And I mean, Trump's going to say great like 80 times. Sleepy Joe, witch hunt vaccine, China virus. I feel like besides Sleepy Joe and witch hunt, those are each good for like 10. Biden, malarkey. He's not going to say that.
I'll tell
If
you
he-
what,
I feel
both
like malarkey. I feel like malarkey next time maybe should be a finish your drink.
It's like when you're at the bar and after your
Absolutely.
10th drink, everyone's starting to look good. Both candidates are going to look better if you play this drinking game. 2/3 of the way into the debate, both candidates will look a little more appealing when you're drunk, right? That's
yeah,
how it
and you
works.
can
Yeah.
also just like, then you won't care as much. Hunter's
Yeah.
laptop, yes. Joey
Yeah.
T, good point. Hunter's laptop, because that's a finish your drink. So, by the way, shout out Freedom Funnels. Oh shit, I'm spilling beer. Shout out Freedom Funnels.
Still spilling.
It's like a Viking horn.
It's a beer bong in the
Someone
shape.
said it looked like a seagull earlier.
It's a
but,
beer.
yeah.
Bong. It
Yeah, it
does look
does.
like a seagull a little bit. No, it's eagle. It's got a strong beak. Look,
Yeah,
it's very
yeah.
strong.
Okay.
And the Freedom Funnels. Find them on Instagram. We'll be using them all night, especially when Hunter's laptop's brought up.
Let's go watch
I
these
think
debates.
it's time, right? It's time.
I
to
think
watch
it is
the
time.
debates.
All right, everybody, we might come back after. Follow along on Twitter and social media to find out if we're coming back after. If not, we're probably going to record a recap with Pat the Beeve Cassidy's to make sure that we can get him on for for the pod. Listen to the podcast tomorrow, Hard Factor News, wherever podcasts are free. Follow Barstool News Network on Twitter and Instagram, and enjoy the fucking debates.
Talk to y'all soon.